everyone, and in this video we are going to cover learning objective number 3, which is in chapter 3 in your book, and it begins on page 95. Now, pay computation requires that fraction of hours be in fractions or decimals according to your wage. Payroll accountants must know how to convert the fraction of hours. Now, as you know, many accountants use a payroll program that will do that calculation for you, but it is still important for everyone to understand how that is calculated. So an example would be if an employee works 30 minutes, then the computation for pay purposes would be 30 minutes divided by 60 minutes in an hour would be half an hour. Now, some examples here is that Jason worked for 4 days during the payroll week, and this is located in your book on page 96. For this company, any hours exceeding 8 hours per day is considered overtime. As you notice, Monday was a regular day. Tuesday, they worked overtime 0.75. Wednesday was 0.7 or 7 hours. Thursday was 9.5, so it's regular hours plus overtime hours. And Friday was a sick day. Now, Jason's gross pay will have 38.5 hours of regular pay. As you notice, it's a 7.5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 8 again is 30.5 hours, plus the 8 hours of sick pay and 2 hours and 25 cents for overtime pay. So it is really important in an organization to understand how the payroll hours work, because some employers work quarter hours versus a 100th hour system. Now, if it's a quarter hour system, time is rounded to the nearest 15 minutes. An example of a quarter hour, they clock in at 8.03, they clock out for lunch at 12.24, they clock back in from lunch at 1 o'clock at 1:30, and they punch out at 4:56 for a total of 8 hours. They would do the same for the next day. Note that the quarter hour rounding results in 8 hours each day. Okay, so it's the nearest 15 minutes. Now, if it's a 100th hour system, we divide the hour into 100th increments. An example of the 100th hour is same example, but as you notice, they clock out at 7.78, and at the on the second day, they clock out at 8.07. 100th hour offers precise time tracking. And this is covered on page 97 in your book. The fourth learning objective of chapter 3 is that apply combination pay methods. So some employees are compensated using some combination methods. An example would be salaries versus commissions for sales agents, salary plus piece rate for manufacturing managers, salary plus hourly for additional work opportunities. The combination pay may serve as an incentive program to increase employee output. And this is covered on page 98 and 99 in your book. An example of this would be is that Ephraim is an account executive, and the base salary is $54,000 plus commission of 3% on each sale that he makes. So if he sold $39,000 of flooring during a bi-weekly pay period, so his regular pay would be the $54,000 divided by 26 paychecks in a year. His normal pay is $2,076.92. His commission is the $39,000 of sales that he sold in the biweekly period times it by 3%, which is $1,170. So the base wage plus the commission equals his gross pay of $3,246.92. On learning objective number 5, which is covered on page 99 and 100 and 101, we have special pay situations, okay, which is called comp time. This is mandatory for public employees as an alternative to pay overtime. This is mostly for government employees. It may be comp time is not mandatory for private employers. It's mostly used for public employees like government employees or possibly teachers. When used, it may be awarded at 1.5 times the number of hours of work as overtime. On-call time is another special pay. There's two types of on-call time. The employee is restricted to the employer's premises, which means that all on-call time must be paid because the employee's liberty is restricted. They must stay on the employer's premises. The second type is the employee is not restricted at the employer's premises. That means compensation is not required because the employee's liberty is not restricted. That means that they're on call while they are at home. In either case, the company policy should define on-call pay and the amount is added to the gross pay. The third type is on page 101 in your book. This is travel time, when the employee travels to a business site. The wait time, the employee must wait as part of their job description. Sleep time, the employee works 24-hour shifts and must receive 5 hours of paid sleep time during the shift. This is mostly for doctors or people in the medical field. And in each case, the employee must be acting into the employer's benefits. So keep those in mind. These are very great rules to keep handy when you start working through the exercises for Chapter 3. All right, sub-minimum wage pay, specific employee classes must receive less than minimum wage. All right, so these are workers that are under the age of 20, may receive $4.25 per hour during the first 90 days of employment. Okay, these are workers under the age of 20, and this is on page 101 in your book. Employer must attain a certificate to pay disabled workers less than the minimum wage. Full-time students working in retail, agriculture, or further school may receive 85% of the minimum wage, and students in vocational programs may receive 75% of the minimum wage. Remember, gross pay is the amount earned prior to any deductions. Okay, that is the amount that you earn prior to any of your tax deductions or voluntary deductions. Employees may be compensated based upon hours worked, a fixed salary, commission, piece rate, or some combination that the employer is offering. For all non-exempt employees, the total compensation per hour, keep this in mind, must meet FLASA requirements. Okay, otherwise they're going against federal laws. Many pay situations are required attention to company policy and FLASA guidelines. So this is the introduction to Chapter 3. In the next video that I will be covering, I will be going through some exercises to put these learning objectives into practice. Thank you.